Come on. Here you go. I'm just setting up my Zoom environment here. Okay, so here we have Jack Lear also joining us. Okay, cool. So just missing Victor and Robert Reed. So when you scroll down past the final project, you will see unit number 9. In unit number 9, we'll be working with Java server pages, which is Java Enterprise. So you can download the Java Enterprise Edition from the Eclipse downloads page. So what you do is you go to Eclipse download, and from there, you can start the Eclipse download process. And when the installer take you to choosing which version of Eclipse you want, that's where you choose Java Enterprise Edition. Do not choose the Java Standard Edition. So just to walk you guys through the process, when you hit the installer, it will bring up the download. You click on it, the installer comes up. Come on. And in the installer main page, you should choose Eclipse IDE for Enterprise, okay? So that is the option you choose. And then you can install that. I already installed it, so that's why I'm not installing it again. So somebody else, Victor and Robert both joined us. Victor and Robert, both of you, we are installing Java Enterprise Edition from Eclipse website. So on Google, I typed Eclipse download. I went to the download page. I clicked on the download. That brings up the installer. In the installer, I picked Java Enterprise Edition. And then you follow through the wizard and install the Java Enterprise Edition. Once you are done installing the Java Enterprise Edition, you will see an icon like this that you see on my desktop, which is Eclipse IDE for Enterprise Java and web developers. And then you can open that. So give me green check when you guys are ready. And then I will walk you through the steps of downloading and installing the web server.
So download that one right there.
Yeah, download what I just showed you guys how to download. Did you follow that, the steps that I showed you guys?
The Eclipse IDE, right?
Yes, but choose the Enterprise Edition. You have to download You have to go to the Eclipse installer and download Java Enterprise Edition. Did you follow the steps I showed you guys again when you and Robert joined?
Yeah.
Okay. So far I have 4 people who are done downloading it. And just so that you know, the reason I gave you guys this link, how to fix Eclipse Enterprise Edition error, because sometimes it happens that when you have multiple editions of Eclipse installed on the computer, the Enterprise Edition doesn't opens up because the initialization file is missing the loader. So that's why I created this video last week because I had the similar problem and I started researching and I noticed a lot of people have the problem. And so I created a short video on that. So if you for those of you who have it, you can double click on the IDE and that should give you a workspace folder and then you can hit launch. And that should open up the Eclipse for Enterprise Edition.
You mind reminding how to change it into dark mode?
It's under preferences.
Oh, window preferences. Okay.
Yeah. And it's under appearance, general appearance.
Got it. Thank you.
Hmm?
Helps the eyes this late at night.
Absolutely. I wonder if gaming monitors are better for eyes or the regular monitors.
I think if you have a bit higher refresh rate monitor, it's easier on the eyes.
So
I'm not sure if that's necessarily gaming or not, but
then again, they say that the human eye has a natural refresh rate of only like 60 frames per second.
yeah, this one
Anything higher than that is sort of
an overkill.
yeah.
I'll tell you right now, if you drag a window around on a 60 hertz monitor and then over to like a 120, you can see a difference real easily.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's why for the game, because of the motion and the movement and so many frames changing per second, the better refresh rate is far better option.
I know it definitely matters with virtual reality.
Yeah, but the kind of work that we do, it shouldn't really matter.
Yeah.
We're just doing some code and running it. Besides the refresh rate, have they made any other technological improvements to make it easier on eyes?
Not that I know of.
I think some computers have almost that blue light filter like cell phone screens do. That's supposed to be better for your eyes.
I see.
They've got those glasses that you can wear too.
Yeah, but
I've heard those are like a scam pretty much.
I've never tried them, so I've never even looked into them. I've definitely seen them before though.
Yeah.
I'll look stupid wearing glasses on glasses.
Have you ever seen the modification you can do to make it so like if you got two monitors like I do, you can take a piece of plexiglass and bend it in between the two monitors, and it almost connects the two, like it looks like you have one big curved monitor.
Oh, no. Never
I've
did.
seen some people doing it on Facebook and some of the computer groups that I'm in, and I mean it's not perfect, but it looks pretty dang good.
I gotta see this.
Yeah, they're like using old monitors and taking the plastic off of the old monitor and then bending it and putting it on the bezel in between, and it just sort of morphs the two screens together.
Oh, one of those like diffusement layers.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
At that point, you might as well just buy a big monitor, but still. I think it was mostly for people using them for like simulation rigs for like racing games and stuff.
It's- You reminded me of a thing I used to do with old laptops. I would like take them apart and get the screen out of them. And one of those layers in the screen diffusing, like you can cut them out, put them into glasses, and it makes drunk goggles for you. I used to do that and like sell them my friends. So this error is like a guaranteed error, just in case it happens.
It just happens sometimes. Okay.
Okay.
Can you? Okay. Jack, I asked everybody to go to Google and then look for Eclipse download. And when you are on Google and you are searching for Eclipse download, then you just go to the Eclipse download page. I hate it when sometimes it does that. Okay. You go to the Eclipse download page, you click on download, and then you start the installer. And when the installer screen comes up, you choose Eclipse IDE for Enterprise Java Edition, and then you follow the screens, and you will have Eclipse IDE for Enterprise Java downloaded for you. In the meanwhile, for those of you who are done downloading, which is like 8 of you out of 11 of you, go ahead and just watch that how to fix Eclipse EE error, just so that you are aware of what that error is and how to fix it.
You should watch the video. Should we also just go ahead and add this so we don't get the error?
If you do not have the error, that means you already have it added. That's why you do not need it.
And the error would have showed up right when we opened it, right?
Yeah, it
Okay.
would not even have given you the workspace window.
Oh,
Okay.
understood.
Yeah. It would have errored out right away because it is missing the loader code that would help you load the Eclipse executable file.
Got it.
So, yeah. So we still have a couple more people, I think, that are watching, and then we'll be starting with today's class. Will be a bit of an explanation first. Paste. Okay, so we have Francisco and Jack are the only two people, I think. Oh, okay. Jack Lair is the only one left. Okay. So the picture that you are seeing on my screen right now is a typical multi-tier application. And that's the focus of this class now till the end of this course is to look at multi-tier applications where we have client-side code, which could be an application client. It could be a dynamic HTML page. That is one tier, which is called the client tier. Communicating with the server tier, which in our case is JEE server tier. And in the layer one of the server tier, we have our web tier. The web tier is where we have our JSP and servlets technologies that are running on top of our Apache server, which we will download and install today. And then underneath that, you could have your application server layer, which could be your WAS server, WebSphere application server, could be JBoss, which is an open source server to run the EJBs, Enterprise Java Beans. And right underneath that, you could directly communicate from JSP to the database tier, or you could communicate with the database tier via EJB. So it creates multiple tier in your application development. We will also be looking at beans later on in the course, but not enterprise Java beans. What beans let you do is beans let you create components, and those components could be plugged into different applications like a service and then can give capabilities. but they're object-oriented components. So we will be looking into as to where will you use that and how you are going to use it. But for the most part, this basically defines the multiple tiers that you will build in your final project. That you will have a client tier where you will have your basic client technologies. Embedded into those will be your server-side technologies. Embedded into those will be your database technologies. And that's how you will be working your way through. Did we look at any JSP code last time or no? No, okay.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I just brief you guys on your project, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, that was the only thing. Okay. So because I teach 2 sections of this course, so I've got mixed up between, and that section is a little bit ahead of this section because they will be getting next week Friday off. So I have to make sure that they're a little bit ahead of you guys so that you guys are all caught up the week after Thanksgiving. It's a Friday class. Anyway, so this is just the basic understanding of the tiers. Another understanding of the tiers could be taken from this diagram, which pretty much talks about the similar stuff, just talks about in terms of your web container where your web server runs. It has its own services. It has JSP, it has servlets, it has JSF, it has tag libraries, several different technologies right within the web container. Okay. Now, whatever code you write in your web container eventually gets translated into a servlet, because servlet is a pure Java program. You can also code your own servlets, and we will code some servlets later on in this course. However, servlets are sometimes cumbersome and difficult to code because you write too much code to do little. That's why we write JSP, which is a combination of client-side technologies and JSP, and you write a little bit of code and you only write what needs to be done at the server. Now, let me show you another image to help you understand what really goes behind the scene on a web server. When a client requests for a page on the web server, the JSP engine reads the JSP file that you're requesting. If the translation of the JSP file into an equivalent servlet is not already available in the cache, the translation will happen. Because server can only understand servlet. It cannot understand JSP. The servlet's bytecode is what the server runs. Then it generates an output. In that output, it makes sure that everything is in plain HTML text. So anything that is already in HTML or JavaScript or CSS, it will just leave it untouched. Anything that is JSP, only that code is translated into equivalent HTML code. So writing your page in JSP makes it a little bit easier for the engine because it only needs to translate the JSP code into its equivalent code. Because the browser, the client's browser, doesn't understand the JSP code. Okay. You guys remember we talked about MVC architecture last week? Model view controller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So if we were to take the MVC approach on the JEE environment, then this could be one approach where your servlet could be your controller, which writes the least amount of code. Your Java bean is your modeler. So it models your objects behind the scene. And your JSP will be the main logic that'll be running everything for the client. So whole responses will be in the JSP form. And if there need be, the Java bean needs to involve the enterprise Java bean for business logic, which could further be divided into different kinds of enterprise Java beans like message beans and stuff like that. Then it can go to the business tier, for which you may have to install another server called application server, because EJBs can't run on web servers. And then you have to connect the two server apps. So that would be an MVC approach for that. So what I did for you guys in this week, I've given you a PowerPoint presentation from a chapter from one of the books. And then I've given you the same chapter in the PDF form. So if you click to open the chapter in the PDF form, this is like in 30 some pages, it just gives you an overview of the JSP, a lot of the stuff that you will learn in JSP. So as you can see in this one chapter, we talk about the JSP, we talk about Java beans, and we talk about receiving requests in JSP and developing an application for browsing database using JSP. So it just talks about everything in one brief chapter. So it goes slightly faster. Anyway, so what exactly is JSP? Servlets can be used to generate dynamic web content. However, the biggest drawback is that you have to embed HTML. And when I show you a servlet example later on, you will be like, wow, that's too much code, right? So using servlets to modify stuff becomes very difficult. But for little things, you can use servlets. But if you write your stuff in JSP, then you're simply embedding Java server pages inside your HTML pages. And again, you can use different IDEs. We are using Eclipse. Somebody may use NetBeans. Somebody use something else. Somebody may use RDI. But typically, if you look at this page, this entire page is 90% in HTML, 90%. There is one JSP code, and that is right here. That is it. That is the only JSP stuff we have. So the rest of the page will be forwarded over to the browser as it is, except for that one piece. And what does that piece do? What does this piece do? It creates an object of date type, which basically grabs the server's current date. And this syntax that you have in JSP, it will throw that out as an output on the screen. So this symbol that starts like this and ends like that, this is a JSP tag, and this JSP tag is for display purpose. So that brings us to the next thing here. This is how typically your code may look like. And Eclipse may look a little bit different. And when you run it, that's how your code will look like. Okay. However, if you right click on your page and you want to see the page source, you will see that the page source will not display the JSP code. Rather, it will display the equivalent text in place of the JSP code. Whatever it translates to, it will display that as a plain text. So you won't be able to tell just by looking at the source code what part of the page is dynamic and what part of the page is client. This is how typically things will work. So the client sends in a request to the web server locates the JSP page. A servlet gets generated by the JSP translator, which is then handed over to the servlet engine, which then sends the response in plain HTML and text over to the client's browser. Okay. Moving on to 3 different ways you can write your JSP code. Number 1 way is this, which you have already looked at. This approach is called JSP expression. This is used only if you want to do a quick output. That's it. That's what you want. You want to embed an output in the middle of HTML, you take that approach. But if you want to write an entire Java server pages code block, then you take this approach, that you start the scriptlets, you end the scriptlet. It is called, by the way, it's called JSP scriptlet, okay, as opposed to JSP expression. And then you write your entire JSP code between the opening and closing tags. However, if you want to write functions, then you use Java declaration block. The only difference is that you now use an exclamation mark. This is for declaring methods or fields. And because of that mark, it will be translated into a servlet as a field or method. And these are HTML comments, and this is how you write JSP comments. Okay, now look at the source code, this one, okay, where all 3 items are used in this one source code. Look at the first line under body. Your scriptlet starts and your scriptlet ends. Now, this is the beauty of JSP. Your scriptlet starts, your scriptlet ends. You're starting a curly brace and you're going into HTML, but the engine will still remember that the loop is going. Just because you're out of scriptlet, that doesn't mean the loop doesn't exist anymore. It still knows that you are in the body of the loop. All of this will only happen as long as the loop is true. So it will display the value of I, it will call a function compute factorial. When the value of the compute factorial comes back, it will display it. Okay. Now notice how compute factorial is written. It's written with a declaration, and that's where the entire body of the function goes. So when you call this function, it returns an output back. So what exactly are we doing? We are displaying factorials of all the numbers 1 through 10 or 0 through 10. So for every number we call compute factorial does its job, then returns one answer back. We go back in the loop, grab the next number, call the compute factorial on that number, and that's how the loop is going. Very short, concise example. However, it shows all 3 ways of writing JSP. And if you look at the source code, isn't it like Java? It is Java, basically. There isn't anything different. There isn't anything new if you concentrate on the Java code alone. Okay. By the way, any questions? Okay. Now, before we get further into this, I would like you to go back to Blackboard and I want you to download the Apache server. There's a zip file. I want you to download that zip file and unzip it. So download the zip file. And then once it's downloaded, unzip it. And give me a green check when you guys are done unzipping it.
I have a quick question. The new Eclipse Enterprise that we're using, it doesn't matter if we use the exact same workspace as the other one, correct? Like it doesn't matter that in my package explorer I still have all of my assignments and units that we've been doing over this semester.
Technically should not matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
But untechnically it could matter at some point.
I don't know because of all the possibilities. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Technically
Okay.
doesn't. Because when you start working with Java Enterprise Edition, it doesn't create the same kind of projects that you would in Java Standard Edition. This one creates server projects. That one creates software development projects. So the
So it
nature
might
of
be
the
a-
projects is different.
So it might be a good idea just to make a new workspace for this one.
I always make different workspaces.
Okay. Easy enough.
So I'll wait till Jack Lear gives me a green check. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. Now what you will do, guys, is you will click the window menu and you will go to preferences. In the window menu, you click preferences. Then you will scroll down till you can find server and you will open it. Then you will click on runtime environments. Okay, server, and then you click on runtime environments. Then you click add. Then you open Apache. You choose Apache 8.0. Hit next. You browse the directory. You open the main one, then you click the second one, and you click select folder. Okay. So you open the main one and you click the second one. Okay. So I click the I click the main one, then I click only single click the second one and select folder. So that's the path where it knows all the subfolders are down here where it needs, and then you hit finish. So you have a server ready to go. And then you apply and close. Okay, please give me a green check again when you're done with this step. Okay, so again, window, preferences, server, runtime environments, add. And then you open Apache, go to Apache Tomcat version 8, hit next, browse, open the main folder under downloads, then click on the folder underneath that, just single click and select the folder, click finish and apply and close. Okay, so we still have Robert Reed and Francisco working on it. Okay, Francisco is the only one right now left. Okay, got it. Okay. Once you guys are done with this step, go ahead and click File, New, and choose Dynamic Web Project. Dynamic Web Project, okay? And let's give this, I'll call mine November 16th, 2022. And let me choose Apache Tomcat version 8 in runtime. Okay. And then you hit next, and then you hit next and finish. Okay. So make sure on the first page, under target runtime, you choose Apache Tomcat, and then you hit next, next, finish. Now that you have the dynamic web project, it is now ready to create your JSP files. So let's right click on this and go to new. And notice in the list, you will find JSP file as one of the options. Click on it. We'll call the very first one welcome1.jsp. Make sure that there is a period between the name of the file and the JSP. I called it welcome1, and it just gives me the beginning source code. Let me go to the preferences and change my colors and fonts. Is this readable for all of you?
It's good for me.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we are inside the JSP page, as you can see, all of this is HTML. We have not written any JSP yet. So welcome to HTML5. I can even write JavaScript here. That document.write, welcome to JavaScript. Oops. And in the same page, I can write some JSP. Welcome to JSP. So all three technologies right under the same banner. Once everybody is done typing this code, I will show you how to run it. you cannot just open it directly in a web browser. You have to open it in the web browser, but you have to go through the web server. So I'm waiting for Cole and Robert. Okay. And then I'll show you guys how to run this.
Is this where we're gonna have to use like FileZilla and stuff like we did?
No, no. We are running it on a local web server.
Oh, okay.
And we're not putting it out to any external server. Robert, any problems or are you just coding?
I'm coding. I got the welcome thing up, but in the bottom of the thing, it's giving me that there's errors with the build path and faceted project problem and whatnot.
Where at the bottom?
And the like the very bottom where it's got the markers, and there's actually like a red check on.
Yeah, I also
Thank
have the
you.
red check, if you notice.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. As long as you do not have any red checks in the code, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now when you guys are done typing this code, save the changes. Then you right click on by going to your project and under so do you see the path I opened? Source, main, web app, and that's where you have your welcome page. You right click on that page and then you go to run as, and then you go to run on server. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, so I went down in Apache. I chose Apache 8 and let me run it. It's loading. And here I have my output. So only give me an X if you did not get the output. So apparently everybody was able to see the output. If you right click in the browser window and you click on view page source, you will see that line number 13 is plain text. And look at my line number 14. It was written in all JSP. So whatever I wrote in JSP gets converted to plain text because browsers can't understand JSP. Do not close this browser window. Just keep it open and minimize it, or maybe put it on the side or something. Because what we will do next is we will make some changes to this code. And all you need to do is simply go to that window and refresh it. You don't have to constantly rerun it on the server. Just refresh it on the browser and it'll do everything for you. Okay. So now let's get back to displaying things in JSP a different way. For example, if you're writing a code block and you want to display something in the middle of the code block, then you take the old Java approach, which is out.println without the word system. Can anybody tell me why are we not using system.out.println?
Because we're printing to a server.
Because we are printing to the browser, not to the console. Correct. So out is a built-in web object, web server object. And when you give something, when you call the println function on the out object, it just hands it over to the stream that's going out to the client. So welcome from JSP scriptlet. Here we go. After you make that change, maybe you can put a BR before the welcomes W. You can also use HTML right within the double quotes in JSP. And now when you refresh your output, notice welcome from JSP scriptlet comes on the new line. Simply comes on a new line. To the same page, we will make some more modifications. So let's say in my JavaScript, I want to put my JavaScript in a span tag. And let me add some inline CSS. And maybe an inline CSS in JSP as well. And refresh your output to see that the JavaScript is in red color and the scriptlet is in blue color. So inline CSS works exactly the same way on JSP text because all of that is applied after the web server does its conversion to plain text. So browser applies all of that stuff. Okay. Now let's get to add some more stuff. Let's go up in the head and add an embedded CSS on span. Or we can have cursive. And here we go. You can see the difference that anything that is in the span is cursive, slightly larger, and bold. So far, so good, everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody has any questions to what you're seeing here? Okay, so the bottom line is that you simply put JSP embedded into in the middle of HTML code. Wherever you do not need JSP, just leave HTML. Wherever you need it, just bring it. So let's add, yeah, go ahead.
I'll say that. So in reference to like the final project, you could write your entire site in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you could write it outside and import it. Either way.
Gotcha.
So now we'll create our next JSP file. We'll call that one welcome to .jsp. And in this one, we will now dive into variables. Now, since you guys are so far ahead in programming, that I can just directly introduce concepts quickly and we can just move on from there. And I don't have to tell you what is a variable until as Jordan wants to know, that's a different case, but.
Hey now, what did I do?
I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
You're just the one not afraid to ask questions.
That's fair. Chat. Too many
By the
questions.
way, what is variable? Really? Okay. So we have declared a variable here called 40, age equals 30. And now let's say we have another variable of type double called salary equals to, and then we have another object of type string called name equals to, so we have a bunch of objects here, okay? Now, if I want to display them, for example, I can say age is, so that's plain HTML. And then I can just say age, just like that. And this period over here just represent the end of the sentence, has no significance other than that. So all I can do is, if you still have your browser open, just change that 1 to a 2 at the end of welcome and hit enter, and you'll have your output.
You said all we had to do was change it from a 1 to 2 in the URL.
and hit enter.
It did not work for me.
What did it do? Did you save your welcome to.jsp?
I did. Oh, you know what? I see why. I capitalized the W in welcome this time.
Oh, yeah, it is case sensitive. Apache is
Yeah.
case sensitive, right?
Perfect. It works. Thank you.
Mhm. You can also display the output from JavaScript. Sorry, from JSP. Like the way I'm doing it through concatenation. Oh, I forgot to do the BR right after. Here we go. So we got the age, the salary, and salary after 33% tax and benefits. Oh, sorry, this shouldn't be the salary. This should be 33% reduction of taxes and benefits. So that should fix that. Okay, 3% reduction of taxes and benefits. So salary after 33% reduction of salary and benefits would be salary minus. I'm purposely doing it a little bit more complicated than it could be done with help of variables, just so that I can show you how multiple operators could be used on the same line. I mean, like, there's no other reason other than that. Instead of me doing too many examples, I'm just doing it this way because you guys are already familiar with Okay, everybody got this working?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, just like we can add different operators in Java, we could probably do some of that over here as well. For example, let's say if I have a variable of type double equals to total, and that is set to a value 100,000. Adding total, adding salary after reduction to total. So that'll be total plus equals 2. And then I can just put this whole formula there. And you know what this does, right? Everybody? The plus equals to operator, right? Okay. So it adds this calculation to the current value of total and stores it back in the total, right? And the new total is 100,000 plus that 30,604.9223. Okay. This is not it. I was looking for a test example that I created. I just can't find it right now. So anyway, let's add the code here in this example. Okay, right at the top. First of all, let's do it the way the book showed it. That if we try to call date class directly, it doesn't understand where the date class is coming from. So you have to write java.util for it to know where the date class is located. First of all, we'll do it this way, and then we will learn how you can import packages in JSP page. So right now, after making that change, if you refresh, it will show you today's date and time on the server. If the server is in a different time zone, then of course you will see the server's date, not the client's. Because the date function runs on the server, and then whatever date is there, it captures that and sends it over to the client. The better approach would be to add a directive at the top. And this is called the page directive, just like language. We have another page directive called import. And in the import, you can write the package that you want to import, such as java.util.star, that I want to get all the classes from java.util package. And once you include line 1, then you do not need to write the package description next to any of the classes that belongs to that package. Okay. Now let's use another package at the top. Let me first check. This would be java.text package, comma, java.text package. So once you import multiple packages, you only need to separate them by a comma. And then inside the scriptlets, I will create a decimal format object. And the decimal format says that you will have, numbers, period, 2 decimals. So I'm just creating a decimal format object. Once I create a decimal format object, I will go to wherever I'm displaying calculations, because remember my previous output in calculations was going up to like 4 decimal places. I need to control that. I don't want to go 4 decimal places. So wherever I'm doing calculations, I can do decimal format dot format. And I'll use the same approach for total. That way, When I refresh it, notice that everything rounds to 2 decimal places.
If you hit the stop button in the console, do you have to rerun it like
Yep.
you normally would?
Yep. Since
Got
the
it.
server is running, that's why I'm just able to simply refresh the browser and get things going. Because look at the URL, it's running the server on the localhost 8080 and then the rest of the path.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, next, go back to line 13 and simply add a comma before the 3 hashtags and refresh the output. What did you notice?
Formatted nicely.
Yep.
So if our output was supposed to be over 1 million, would we have to add 3 more hashtags with another comma in front?
No, let's try. So you have 100. Let's make it a larger number, right? And see, it just, that comma in front of the 3 hashtag means put a comma after every 3. That's what it means.
Okay.
So far, so good, everybody? Oh, scroll up. Okay. Got it, Jack Lair? Or do you need any help? Oh, did you make sure your line 1 has the java.text import? So there are 2 imports on the first line, the util package and the text package. And they're separated by a comma. Okay, cool. Okay. Now let's create our next JSP file. We'll call this one welcome 3.jsp. Double number equals to 5.6. Number 1, number 2 equals to 5.4. Number 3 equals to 5.1.
What did you do to get math to not error?
Math will not error because it's part of java.lang package. You don't need any imports for that. Still have an error, Jordan?
No, I'm good to go.
Okay.
It just was erroring until I hit save.
Okay.
So mine is only listing, excuse me, listing the first print. It's not listing any of the other prints for floor or ceiling.
Check your syntax for line 12. You probably something is erroring out that it is erroring the 2 lines after that. Did you forget to close the double quotes or something? Do you have the closing scriptlet on line 18?
Yeah.
Okay. and it displays the correct output for the first one, that's Browns to 6.
Yes.
Okay. You didn't see any errors in your code?
I'm not seeing any right now. No.
Okay, let's have a look at it then. Ah, there is an error. Look at your BR. Where's the closing for your BR? No, you
Oh,
only,
oh.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Oh man.
Okay. Okay, everybody got this? Okay, so we will now save. So we will create a new JSP file. Call this one if condition .jsp. So let's learn about if conditions. Integer score equals to 89. If score is greater than equals to 90, greater than equals to 0 and score is less than equals to 100, then visit the if condition. I'm creating a nested if condition. You guys already know this. I'm just reviewing this stuff for JSP just so that you guys can see. You can use all of that in JSP. So if score is greater than equals to 90, then out.println a, else if oops, it is if condition dot JSP. Here you go. Okay, everybody got this?
Yep.
Okay. Now let's create a new JSP file called switch case.jsp. Character code equals to F switch code case F or case F out.println fire department case P or case P out police department and default to call just a very simple example where we are checking to see if the value of code matches F or P, then it is fire department or police department respectively. Otherwise, it is call 1-800 local PO.
So the error in line 21 doesn't make a difference for it running?
No, I wonder, what is it complaining about? You don't really typically need a break in the default case in Java. That's more of a C# thing. But yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's Eclipse acting up, because syntactically there is nothing wrong. Otherwise, this would not run. The problem is it is not an interpreter, it just converts the entire JSP code into servlet code. If there is an error in JSP, servlet will never be generated, so the page will fail.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this or not from Java 1, that if you use Control-Shift-F, it auto formats the code for you.
I remember that just now.
So that's the switch case. Loops are exactly the same way as they were in Java, because this is Java. Typically, I mean, like, this is Java. The only difference is you're running this on a server versus running everything locally. So how about let's take a break till 7:40, and then when we come back at 7:40 is when we will start looking at loops, and we will incorporate some more HTML to produce some dynamic output. Then we want to look into arrays, parallel arrays, combine that with nested loops, or probably at least nest and if condition inside a loop. You know, those kind of things that we have done in the past. We will just try to bring that logic going inside JSP. So anyway, I'll see you guys at 7:40. This is the code that we were looking at before we went on break. Is everybody back?
I am.
Okay, cool. So We will start our next JSP file with a while loop example. While, just like before, requires some kind of initializer. While I is less than equals to 10. Out.println. I++. And that will do the rest. It will simply display the output of 10 lines. Since I have a new line before I'm printing an I, that's why I have a blank line on the very first line. If I push the BR after I, then I'll have a blank line after the last line. What will happen if I make this one change on line 13?
It all print on the same line.
They'll all print on the same line, okay? Now, let's use the conditional operator here inside. You guys remember the conditional operator? How does a conditional operator looks like? Probably don't remember, right?
I don't.
Okay. Conditional operator is a replacement of an if condition where you put a condition with a question mark and then you have a true and a false statement. So if I is less than equals to 9, I want to print an I with a new line. And if it is the last line, then only print I. So I'm making a condition. If the condition is true, this will go as an output. If the condition is false, then this will go as an output. So when I now run this, look at it. So each line has a new line after it, except for the last line. Okay. So we will now save this one as do while loop. So I'll change this example for a do while loop. All you need to do is cut the while from the beginning, put the do in its place, push the while in the end with a semicolon. And now you have a do while implementation of the same idea. It's a condition loop versus a precondition loop. So it runs one less time or checks one less conditions. Let me put it this way. Because first condition is pre-checked, it starts checking from the second condition. Okay. Next, we will save this example as a for loop example. But I'll call this one for loop 1.jsp. With for loops, you can condense your loop logic into one place. So I can move the initialization right within the loop. I can do I less than equals to 10 and I plus plus. Everything can be done right within the loop. And since there is only one instruction in this for loop, curly braces are not required, but I'm still leaving it there. So I'll call this one for loop 1.jsp. Same output, just a different loop. For loop can have multiple variations, just so that you know, and we will be looking at those variations. Okay. One of the variations of for loop is that you can have your initialization done before the loop. In that case, you can just have an empty placeholder for the first slot. Your program will work exactly the same way, no difference. But if you have variable declarations in one place, and you know that your loop counter is declared already, you can just simply skip that one step. Similarly, if for any reason you have decided to calculate the loop counter as part of the logic of the loop, then you can also skip that increment. And your program again will work the same way. So these are the 3 different variations in for loop. Got it, everybody? This one?
Got it.
Okay, so let me save this example as for loop 2. In the for loop 2, I want to display a table, and I want to create the rows of the table in a loop. And I want to create a big table of 256 rows. Okay, so I'll have my table tag starting here before the loop. Oops. Before the scriptlet, I'll have my table start tag, and my table end tag will be after the scriptlet. So this whole scriptlet will be inside the table tag. Then I'll have my first row of the table with the column headings, 2 column headings. One of them will say the letter. The other one will say the ASCII code. I'll start from 0. I'll go up to 255. So there are 256 ASCII characters. And here's my print instruction. Every time I run a loop, out.print, I'll have a starting TR and an ending TR. And between them, I will have a TD. One will display the character equivalent of the number, which will be the letter. And the other one will display the ASCII code. It's like that. Oops. Notice these are non-echoable characters that are showing like that. And wherever the echoable characters come in, you can see them. Let me know when you guys are done.
I don't get those boxes next to 1 through 8 like you do, but I get every other symbol.
Are you using Chrome too?
This is in Firefox.
Okay. I don't know if it's a Firefox thing or not. Let me see if I don't even have Firefox.
I'll open it in Chrome real quick. I have both.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. And I've been telling people don't use Firefox. It's a hazard. It's a fox on fire. Are you kidding?
Oh man, I was not ready for that one. Been missing the puns this year. There's only been a couple thrown here and there.
Okay, so we're waiting for Victor, Francisco, and Cole. Okay, Victor got it. Okay, so waiting for Cole. Okay. After this, let's add some CSS to this example, because you guys will be doing a lot of CSS for your final project. So you need some refreshers on CSS so that you're used to of seeing it again. Okay, do you guys remember what line 9 does?
Puts a border around the table
And the cell and the heading.
and the
okay?
header, yeah.
Yeah, so you need to give border at individual level. If you only give border to the table, just create one big rectangle around. And then border collapse. What does that do?
Doesn't it put like a shadow type thing around
No.
it? No? Oh.
By default, there is a space between the border of the cell and the border of the table. So it just collapses all the space and creates one tight table. Let me show you the difference. This is how it looks like right now. You see all these gaps between the cells and the table's outside border. And with the collapse in place, notice how it collapses. Okay. Gives a bit of a width. Oops.
Yeah, it looks completely goofy now in Firefox.
Okay, everybody got this as well? Let me clear the feedback so everybody can give me the new feedback. Okay, so we have Francisco working on it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm clearing the feedback again. How many of you are registered for next semester or know what you will have to take next semester? Okay, so Jack and Victor are the only people who don't know what you're taking next semester, what you will take next semester. Oh, you do, okay. Victor also, okay, okay, cool. So for all the classes, there are two offerings, one daytime section, one evening section. Let's see here.
Is the daytime in person for all of those?
So again,
Is the daytime
ones
in
are,
person
yep,
for all those?
daytime ones are all in person, and the evening ones are on OSync. You know, I miss WebAdvisor so much because it was so easy to look for things in WebAdvisor. Oh, I don't like to go through so many clicks.
So many different widgets too.
Yeah.
The old one was way better.
So you go to a widget called search for courses, and then that takes you to this website, and that's where you can select your term and you can choose your subject and then search. Okay. So there are two sections of advanced RPG. So notice that evening section is OSync. That's why it says internet. And that's on Tuesday night. And the Wednesday day section is in person. System design and development. There are two sections. The internet one is Friday night. The in-person one is Tuesday afternoon. Okay, so the Tuesday afternoon sections ends at 4:50. So if anybody has a Tuesday night class, you probably will have 40 minutes to get back home to take the evening one, but usually that's rarely happens. Mostly people are either day or evening. And then We have system design and development. After that, we have DB2. Do you have a Friday morning one? That's in person on Racine. And then you have a Thursday night one. That's all sync. And then you have the Zen Technologies the same day. You have a morning one, a night one. I think those are your classes, right? Zen, DB2, system design, and advanced RPG, right?
Be a lot of classes to teach.
Yep. RPG is not new for you guys because you're taking it this semester. It's just like different topics. So, and the PHP class should be fairly easy for you after doing JSP. It's basically another language doing embedded internet programming. So that should also come out easy. System design and development doesn't have any programming. It's more of a project management with a software development lifecycle class. And DB2 UDB programming is the only one that's where you will be doing database programming. First, you will be learning about SQL. Then you'll learn about the procedural language of SQL. So that is a different course. So yeah, so if you're taking evening classes, you are here Tuesday nights for advanced RPG, Monday nights for PHP. So that's Monday, Tuesday done. Thursday for DB2. So Thursday is done. And then system design is Friday. So Wednesday night you will have off.
Yay.
Cool. Okay. Going back to this. Now let's create our next example, which we will call arrays, loops, if condition. We'll try to do a lot of things in one example. So I'll create a table again. I'll work with my table details shortly. As to what goes as column headings, I'll figure that out as we build our example, okay? So let's create an array here. This is how you create an array in Java. Oops, forgot the comma. So I have an array of 5 elements. If I create another array of 5 elements with corresponding values, what do you call this concept of arrays?
Parallel array.
Parallels.
Yep, parallel arrays. So considering that, I should have 3 headings. One for the IDs, one for the student names, and another one for student letter grade. Oh no, a score, sorry, scores. Scores. And yeah, that's those 3 ones. Okay. Now I need to run a loop where I can display in table rows. In each row, I want to display 3 values that will go tuck, tuck, tuck in 3 different columns. I will let you, I'll give you guys like 5 minutes to build that logic, where you run a loop that puts 3 values per row in each of the respective columns. Okay, so we have Jack and Victor, are the only two people working on it. Everybody else is done.
You never cleared out the responses before.
Oh, these are from the before. Okay, okay, let me clear out the responses from before. Okay. So can you guys give me new responses? So I can pretty much run the length of any of the three arrays because they're all the same length. And then I can start building my row, just like I did in the for loop example number 2, very similar. I can just copy this whole structure and paste it here from the previous example. And I can just make some minor changes such as where I'm grabbing my values. So I'll have 3 columns versus 2. So my first value actually come from IDs. My second value comes from names. And my third value comes from scores. Right? What's going on here? Run as run on server. Okay. So here I have the output. Oops. Let me add maybe some more HTML stuff here, like student data. And I'm gonna make it look a bit like a little bit different. Here we have student data right at the top.
So mine is not actually giving me any of the stuff inside of the arrays. It's just giving me kind of random stuff.
What do you mean random stuff?
I mean, like it's saying D at 50, D 8553. Like it's just giving me a random string of stuff. It's not actually giving me the things that are in the array.
Okay, let's have a look at it.
I'm just full of problems today.
Oh, it's actually giving you the object, not the array. Okay, so is that the error from your code? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Scroll up to the top. Oh, it's the same error over and over again.
Yeah, I tried it a few
Okay,
times.
okay, okay. Can you clear the errors? Yeah, and then run it again.
Okay. That makes no sense, but all right. I don't know what changed, but yeah.
it scared of my presence?
You had someone
It
else
must
look
be.
at it.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So maybe let's add some CSS to this, and then we're going to be adding some more modification. So we're done. Font size 13 points. Oh, I should have done TH and TD on line 12. And then I can also implement bandit rows by doing every even row will have a different background. So that's how the output will look like after these basic changes.
Can you remind me what the difference between PX and EM is? Like, I understand PT is for font size, like point, but PX and EM.
PX is pixels and EM is relative size. For example, 1.2 EM means 120% of the current font size.
Okay.
Which line causes it to be the text to be even in the middle of each box?
The text align center, line 12.
Ah, I see a typo.
Okay, let me clear your previous responses and then give me new green checks when you guys are done, so that I can make more modifications to this code. Okay. After we are done with this, let's scroll down, maybe outside the table, and create a declaration scriptlet. Just like that, okay? So we'll create a private string letter grade. So we will declare a function which will accept a parameter and will return something back to the caller. So, and that what will return is a letter grade. Okay. Now we already wrote in if condition example, the computation for letter grade. Let's go back to the if condition.jsp and let's copy only the if condition. Do not copy the first line. Just copy the if condition logic and paste it inside this function. And then replace each one of the condition with a return. Okay, what is this guy complaining about? Oh, hold on a second. No, that was right. That was right. Okay. You know what? It's complaining about that the outside function is not having a return. You know what? Let me change this logic. Let's say grade equals to, and then we'll have a return outside. And I'll have a string grade. Have a return grade. And then let me write an else for the outer if. Say grade equals to n/a. So the score is not in the valid range. The grade is not applicable. Otherwise, we get a letter grade. Let me clear the feedback for you to give me new feedback that you're done with this method. Then we will write the call for this method. Okay, everybody got it, but Francisco. Francisco, you're still coding, right? Francisco, any errors or I don't know. Francisco's there. Oh, you got it. Okay, cool. Okay. Let's scroll back up and let's add one more column heading. We'll call this one student letter grade. Student letter grade. And we will add one more column to the loop, which will be that you pass the score as a parameter to the letter grade, and then it will send you back the letter grade. Okay. Okay, with that in place, simply refresh, and you should now have one additional column with the letter grades.
So we can send this to you for an update on our grades, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get Tanya.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay, let's scroll down and let's enclose each one of the letter grades in a span tag. Span, 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 span. Close it out with span, 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 span. The n/a will have a style, color red. Okay, we're going to give each one of them a style as well. Let me copy this rather. I'll copy this and paste it to each one of the colors. Green, blue, olive, orange. Oh, I forgot the F, red. Here we go. Got it, everybody?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Now go to the
Yep.
Blackboard and refresh the unit 9. In the unit 9, right past the apache.zip, you'll find a pictures folder. It's a zipped pictures folder. It has 5 pictures in it. You download this. I think it has 5 or 6. I don't remember now. It has 5 pictures in it, not 6. You know what? Hold on a second. Don't download it yet. Let me update that. Because we have 6 people, right? So let me add one more picture.
We have 5
No,
people
we
on the
only have
table.
5 people.
Oh, we do have 5 people. Oh, okay. Then that's fine. That's fine then. Yeah. So then you can download this one. And then you can unzip it. Once you unzip this, you will have these pictures. So let's copy these pictures, drag them and drop them on the web app folder. Copy links. Oops, did I grab the wrong ones? I saved them as JPEG. What happened?
That's the right ones. They're .jfif extensions.
Yeah, but I saved them as JPEGs.
And the zip, it's a JFIF.
Oh, I probably grabbed them from the zip. No, I grabbed them from the unzipped folder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I extracted it in the folder now, I can see it says pick one.jfif.
Hmm. It's a bitmap graphic that uses a JPEG compression. Let's see. I don't know. I've never used JFIF before. Let's see if that works. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me test one of them. Image source equals to pick 0.jfif. Okay, cool, works. Awesome.
Where did you want us to store those in Eclipse?
Just drop them on the web app folder.
Okay, thank you.
So let me maybe make this 60 by 60 pixels. I'm just testing some properties. Okay, good enough. Okay, so write some CSS first. On line 43, I'm just setting the basic image size property that I want to display. So in the style tag, you can write the image properties. We will add a new column heading called student pictures. Let me increase the table width to, instead of 650, let me make it 850 pixels. Okay. So I increase the table width to 850 pixels.
Do you know why everything turned to a warning at the bottom?
Where, what bottom?
Showed on the bottom of the code.
Oh, well, we are not done yet. So that's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Okay.
that. Yeah. Jack says, Jack, what didn't change for you? Was it like? Oh, the color of the letter grade. Letter grade did not change for you. Okay. Did you write it correctly? Like, did you give each letter a different color in the span? And did you close the spans and everything? Okay, there is only one way we can check, and that would be if you can share your screen. Okay. Style equals to color green. Can you run your program and show me what you are seeing in your output? Can you refresh this? Okay. Okay, you can go back to, the source code. Okay. No, you don't have to put a semicolon there. You have a span, style equals to color colon green, a span, color blue, color olive, color orange.
Is the code running? I don't see the consoles. I don't know.
So again,
Is the server running? I don't see the console. With the
otherwise, oh, okay. Can you show the source code window? I mean, like output window again, please? I mean, like if the server was not running, if you refresh now, go ahead, refresh. It would fail. It would just not do anything.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so go back to your source code. Okay, we will make, oh, hold on a second. Oh, okay, go to the end of line 46 and hit enter. Add a TH and type student pictures. Close the TH, save the changes, and refresh the output. Let's see if it is reflecting the change. And okay, it is. Oh, here you go.
Why is it being weird?
So sometimes I have to put like a space and save it again for it to show up a change.
I don't know. Would have probably the server refreshed itself or something. If your file, your JSP file on the server was still stuck in the old one until you made some changes and saved them, and then it updated to the next new servlet. Okay, so for those of you who are still at the top, I ask you to change the table width to 850 pixels. So first do that. And second of all, after that, add the image property width 60 pixels, height 60 pixels. Add that line in the style. No problem, Jack. After that, make sure that you have a TH called student pictures. After that, we will add one more cell inside the loop to load the pictures. Right here. Image source equals to okay. So now we need to come up with the picture names. Now picture names are pick 0, pick 1, and it goes like this, right? So technically the name goes like pick, then whatever is the value of I dot JFIF, correct? It'll be pick 0, pick 1, pick 2, we're gonna go like that.
Only one single quote, or is there supposed to be another one after pick?
Yeah, so a single quote starts here and a single quotes end here.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Okay. So that basically will grab the name and this will be the output. Okay, everybody get to see that? So this time, instead of using a parallel array, we saved our pictures such that we were able to dynamically produce the pictures. So again, give me a green check as you are done with this example. So a report, something similar to this one, will be part of your project. The only difference is that I am using parallel arrays and you'll be using data from the database.
What kind of database?
We'll be using DB2 UDB.
Okay, we haven't learned it just yet.
We have not yet started working with our database examples with JSP. I'm just letting you know. So
Okay.
hopefully next week is when we will start working with form processing and session management. So if we have time next week, we can then dive into the databases. Otherwise, by the 30th for sure. But I will try to get you started with databases on the 23rd, at least get you started, because I want you to start working on your website next week. So next week, my first thing would be to work with forms and get you session management started. So once we get the session management piece done, then you can start building your website on session management. So did you guys decide what you want to do your project on? Because I asked you to let me know today what you'll be working on. And then
I did.
Yeah,
so can you tell us in the chat, each one of you, what your project theme will be?
You want us to type it?
Yep.
Okay.
And if you're telling us about the project, just give a little bit more description. So Greg, is that the game that you spoke about last week?
I don't remember what I talked about last week. I was
Something-
dealing with COVID.
Oh. So sorry to hear that. Are you feeling better now?
Better. My throat's still a little messed up and I've got a cough. But it's a trading card game.
Okay. I know these coughs last forever. I had a cold last last month. It's been like 3 weeks. I still have the dry cough. Video game completion. Okay. So Jack has Volkswagen. So Jack, you will be adding cars, updating cars, deleting cars, showing cars.
Will we need an image?
So again,
Will we need an image in the database or?
well, you can store the image information in the database. Like, for example, right now I have pick 0, pick 1, pick 2, pick 3. And you can have your images in your project folder. And then you can load them like that. So yeah, certainly, you can use something very similar to what we did today. Okay, so Josh has patients in a hospital. Okay, Victor also has something similar as hospital records. So Victor, like Josh, is doing very specific to patients. What are you doing it like? Is it hospital employees, hospital medication, or you're also doing patients?
I was gonna do patients, but I could probably do employees.
That's up to you. I mean, like, it's not like because Josh is doing it, you got to change it. Maybe you both will have same thing, but different implementation.
Okay.
Okay, Jordan has keep a record of reptiles, names, foods, humidity, etc. Okay. Goal has a database list of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Okay. So I got it from 7 of you. How about the others? We have a total of 10 of you. So I need to hear from Francisco. Oh, well, okay. That was the whole point last week. So that when you come today, you should have decided. So you need to decide now then, Jack. Before you leave tonight, I need to know. Okay, so I need to hear from Francisco. And who else? Robert Reed. Yeah, so Robert, Jack Lair, and Francisco. So next week, we will be learning how you can do login and log out. So what I will do is after we learn login and log out, I want you to come to the next week's class with your project's main page done. And your main page will have login.
Sounds good.
Okay, so when you have your project's theme page done, the rest of the site will be built on that theme. So next week, we will learn about session management. We'll learn about forms. So then you can take that to implement that piece in your project. When we start to do something else with it, then you can go back and update that in your project. So every week we will be doing stuff that you can go back either at the end of the class or during the week and add that piece to your project.
I'm
That
sorry.
way,
So you said you wanted that done before this upcoming class or after the next class?
no. Have your first page done with the login and your themes and colors and the whole 9 yards of your design done by next class.
Okay.
We
So
haven't
after
learned the
next
login
class.
yet.
So again,
We haven't learned the login yet, right? Just making like fields
yeah,
to put it in.
just the basic login, like using plain HTML with no processing capabilities, no action, no event handling.
So just the design.
Just the design, just the look and feel. So that next week, when we learn about the session management, you can apply it to your login right away. So I will do one example with you in class, and then you will take that example and you will model your project on the similar scope. So we will do login, log out. Once you learn that process, you go to your project, you do the login, log out into your project. Then we will create a database, and we will implement that database in my example. Then you go into the DB2, you create your database for your project. And then you do something similar to what I will do in your project. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Okay, so whatever we do in class example, you will model your project after that example, but your project will be unique in its context. So you should be able to relate the information to your project. So that's how we will be working for the next 3 weeks. So Francisco, did you decide it? What you will be doing your project on?
Am I able to do like a restaurant ordering system?
Yeah, just type in the chat your idea.
Okay.
Okay. And Jack Lear, you can also do the same. And Robert Reed, you can also do the same. And whatever you're writing here, make sure you also make a note of that, just so that you know what you said to me. It's not like you told me something and you give me something.
So is there, I know there is a way, I don't remember how exactly, to put like an input field where someone can type through HTML?
Yeah, that's input type text. And the other
Okay.
one is input type password.
and then you can put it inside a form.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
And then you guys will be using CSS to for controlling the look and feel. Okay, so Jack Clear, your project will be revolving around keeping a database of switches for mechanical keyboard. So you are planning on updating the records for them, inserting. So when you say switches for mechanical keyboard, what do you mean? Like each individual switch in the keyboard? And you'll be maintaining a database of the switches?
On mechanical keyboards, they have like some like cherry, different colored switches that do different things. Like some
Oh.
of them don't have any click sound. Some of them have like a
So-
haptic feedback.
Yeah, it's very ironic that he put that because I literally just bought a new keyboard on Amazon as he put that. And yeah, I could choose what buttons or what click I wanted. So there's blue, red, black, brown, and they all kind of have different sounds and different pressures.
Really?
Yep. So you can really customize them.
Wow, amazing.
Like they have it where you can actually build a full keyboard with different switches for each key.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But mechanical keyboard make a lot of noise, right?
Not if you get like a red or a black something that doesn't have the click to it, then it doesn't make a ton of noise. But if you were to get like a blue switch or something, then it makes a ton of noise. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for that very reason, I purchased a silent keyboard
Ah,
I love the
It's-
clickety clack.
I love the click. Yeah.
because my mic is on all the time when I'm teaching. So if I use mechanical, I'm gonna make a lot of noise.
Well, here, let's see. Can you hear mine?
I can't.
No, and I've got blue switches in mine. It's not that loud. And my
Okay.
mic is maybe 4 or 5 inches away from my keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine's not bad either. I mean, I don't think you can hear me typing. Maybe you can, but
I had to buy a new keyboard with big keys for my big fingers.
Holy Panda, is that a car? Is that a company that makes switches? Holy Panda?
It must be.
looks like it. Yeah, that's what the switch looks like under the key.
It does kind of look like a panda.
Interesting. So, Francisco Hotel Management Database. Francisco, do not build your project too big because you have too many objects. You have hotel rooms, staff, check-ins, booking, payment. If you build such a massive project, you probably may not be able to complete it in a timely fashion. So pick one topic in hotel management. So limit your scope. So we still need to hear from Robert Reed. Robert, what is your plan? And Francisco, also let me know your scope, you scale down project. Okay, Francisco. I don't know if Robert is there or not. Robert, you there?
You just sent a message.
Oh. Character tracker for MMOs. A list of current characters. Okay, so is this something that you can fit in one table, or do you need multiple tables for this, Robert? Because right now I'm keeping things simple, one data set. Okay, okay, cool. So it's a little bit easier for you to update things. Okay, cool. So everybody has something to start with. So build the design, the look and feel, the theme. Make sure when you're using your colors, not to choose dark colors on dark background or light colors on light background, or do not have too busy background that it's so hard to read your text. So work with those aesthetics, coloring scheme. That's why I want you to spend some time, only build the first page, the main page, but that should have your theme for the project. And then you will continue to, so use external CSS so that you can use the same external CSS across the board. And you have to change it for everything, okay? Then we will learn how you can build navigation in JSP, and then you can incorporate that in your project, and that your project will have the navigation as well. So again, as I said, the project that we will build in class, yours will align to that project. Anyway, so that's all for tonight, guys. And I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday.
Have a good night.
You too, guys. Bye.
Sounds good. Have a good week. Thank you.
You too.
So how did we